Shane Lowry didn't get to be Shane Lowry by referring to himself in the third person, so we'll chalk it down to fatigue. And on Monday at the US Open at Oakmont, he was most definitely fatigued. Almost 2 hours had passed since he'd walked off the first tee with Akshay Bhatia and Michael Lasasso, and they'd played just 5 holes. Now there was another delay on the par 3 sixth, so he slumped down on the grass, wiped his brow and waited for the green to clear. "The big fella will be out tomorrow," he said. "The big fella? Who's the big fella?" I asked. He smiled and patted his stomach. But on Tuesday, he was as good as his word. Out of bed at 4:45, drive to Starbucks at 5:20, a Grand Americano with a splash of milk at 5:25, arrive at Oakmont at 5:35, walk to the range at 5:45 and onto the 10th, he was playing the back nine, at 6:45. He was flying around and playing great when I caught up with him as he walked from the 16th green. "Ah, here he comes," I said, "the big fella," and he laughed. But most eyes were focused on the little fucker behind. That's what Shane calls Rory when the mood catches him sometimes. It started at the Masters in 2022 when he went out on Sunday believing he could win and noticed a new name on the leaderboard, Rory's, when he played 7 holes. That spurred me on, he laughed when we sat down the next day. "Really?" I said. "Yeah, I wanted to catch him." I laughed. "I did," he said. "I thought, that little fucker, it definitely kept me going." It was one of the greatest things I'd ever heard. They finished second and third that year and have grown closer ever since. Here's how Shane explained it to the BBC after he played with Rory on Tuesday.
Yeah, I think I said it afterwards. I said I've never been more jealous and more happy for someone in my whole life than watching Rory do what I did at the Masters. I think it was incredible for everybody, for him, for Irish golf, for anybody around him. And I think it just puts a bit of fire in my belly to kick on and try and be better than I have been. And, to add, I only want one more, add one more to my name. One more of these big ones, and obviously with Port Rush in a few weeks as well. So exciting summer ahead.
It's been interesting watching them this week. They had breakfast together on Tuesday after the round, walked to the range together an hour later and practiced side by side until lunchtime when Rory left for his press conference. Then his mood changed. He's been out of sorts since Augusta. "You dream about the final putt going in at the Masters, but you don't think about what comes next," he said. What came next was a T12 finish with Shane in New Orleans, a T7 finish in Philadelphia, a T47 finish at the PGA Championships in Quail Hollow, and a missed cut last week at the Canadian Open. "I'm trying to get home as much as possible and do the things that I enjoy," he said on Tuesday. "One of my goals for this year was to have more fun, and that's what I'm trying to do." He's been having fun with Shane. In Toronto last week, he checked out of his hotel early and moved into the house that Shane was renting. Then he played his worst round of the year and missed the cut, Shane laughs. But we're not buying it. The big fella has been good for him, and the little fucker has been great for Shane. They played together again early on Wednesday, and when they were drawn together for the first 2 rounds here, I was reminded of some text messages they exchanged the last time that happened at Bay Hill in March. "Shite draw," Rory said. "We'll be sick of the sight of each other by Friday," Shane replied.
And if you believe that, you'll believe almost anything. We'll be seeing plenty more of them.